Everybody say hi, Chloe.
Hi, Cloto.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
This is 4-5. Just a quick run through of like what's going to happen these next couple days. Are you ready for this? Okay. We are not doing a mid-chapter quiz for this chapter. Okay. Today we'll do 4-5. Tomorrow we'll do 4-7. We skip 4-6. Okay. So today we'll do 4-5. Tomorrow 4-6. Thursday 4-7. Thursday 4-8. And then Friday, Monday we'll review. We'll test on Tuesday. And then starting Wednesday, do you know what happens on Wednesday of next week?
No.
Finals.
Oh, that's a week from tomorrow. Wednesday, no, here you go. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, I give you a review packet that has the exact same question. So, locating or analyzing graphs of polynomial functions. Polynomial functions. The polynomials that we've looked pretty closely at are linear functions. I always go through these. You're getting tired of this. I know. Linear functions, which look like a line, it's like y equals x, okay? Or like y equals mx plus b. Then we had a whole chapter about quadratics, so quadratic functions. And those look like parabolas, right? Y equals x squared. Those are quadratic functions, okay? We spent like an entire chapter on linear and an entire chapter on quadratics, okay? We don't spend an entire chapter on cubic functions, which is the next one. Okay, we don't specifically talk about cubic functions a lot, but these, and quartic, the functions that we are graphing today are specifically cubic and quartic. Okay, those are the ones that we're going to be dealing with today. Cubic functions are like y equals x to the third power. Quartic is y equals x to the fourth power. Do you know what they look like? You should know some things about them, right?
So cubic is the S, basically.
Cubic is like an S. It goes opposite directions. So it like might go like something like that, but it's going to go opposite directions because it is odd, okay? Quartic is an even function. It looks kind of like a W, okay? Yep. So that's kind of, in a sense, what those functions will look like, yeah? Something of that nature, okay? All right, so those are the main polynomial functions that we're looking at. We studied these two pretty in-depth previously. Now we're going to talk about cubic and quartic and graphing those, okay? When we're analyzing graphs, that's what this section is all about. Analyzing graphs, we're talking about the zeros, okay? And we're talking about the maximums and minimums. Okay, so we're talking about zeros and we're talking about maxes and mins. Those are the two main things that we're going to be like focused on for the graphs. Okay? What's a zero, by the way?
Zero.
An x-intercept, where it crosses, right? An x-intercept. What's a max and a min?
Maximum is like the highest point it reaches.
Okay, it's okay.
Highest turning point.
Yep, high, and not highest. I'm going to say high and low points, okay? Because it's technically not the highest point on an entire graph, but it's the high and low points. Shh. Watch. Take notes. No, you're not. Okay? The highest and lowest point. Okay, so we'll get to that when we talk about like maxes and mins, all right? For this function, let's say we're trying to locate the zeros. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Okay, go sit down.
Yeah, I'm going.
Go sit, take notes. Let's say we're trying to locate the zeros. How many zeros does this thing have? 2. One of them is nice. It occurs at 0. It occurs right here. You see that? This guy right here? He's touching right at 0. This one is not touching nicely. So when he doesn't touch nicely, what do we say? Between. Okay? Somebody 7th period says he's at 2.5, but he's not. We don't know exactly that he's at 2.5. In fact, I know he's not at 2.5 because 2.5 is right here. So he's a little bit further than 2.5. We would say between 2 and 3. So we have a 0 at 0, and we have a 0 between 2 and 3. Those are my two zeros. That was a lot of the word zero. Anyway, but that's what we're looking for, okay? And we're graphing these things. And these are kind of pains in the butts, okay? All right? Are we doing okay so far? Those are zeros. All right, here we go. We're going to graph this thing. This is the function that we have. This is our polynomial. This is a cubic function. He's x to the third power, which said looks kind of like one of those, like an S-ish, a sideways S. Something like that, right? Okay, we're going to plug these numbers in, and I'm going to have you do this on your calculator, okay? And I'm going to show you how to make it so that your calculator, like, you don't have to retype this in every single time. Did you know that you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. I want you to on your calculator type this in exactly as I'm writing it. We're gonna plug -2 in first. So I'm gonna do parentheses -2 to the third power. Some of you guys might have to use this little caret symbol on your calculator. That takes it to the third power. Okay. Minus 4 parentheses -2 squared plus 3 parentheses -2 plus 1. Okay. You're gonna type it in just like that using parentheses. Okay.
29.
And you get 29. That's what you should get.
Positive?
Positive 29. Or is it negative 29?
This is error.
Yeah, me too.
Negative 29. Okay. All right. I couldn't remember. I knew it was 29, but I don't remember if it's positive or negative. So negative 29. Did anybody not get that?
Mine says error.
I got negative.
Okay. Yours says error. Yours says error. Do you want to look at it?
Oh no.
Mine worked.
Okay. I know. Okay. You do have a dumb calculator, and what it does is that each one of these, that's a minus sign. It wants you to use the
Left
negative
something?
symbol, which is this guy right here. Anytime you're
You
doing,
want to
so
left
this
something?
stays a minus sign. I don't understand it. Left. This is in negative.
Okay.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like
If I
minus
can
and
eat it
negative
all
should
or
be
not.
interchangeable, but it's not for some reason. There it is. Okay. All right. Anybody not get negative 29? Okay. All right. So here's what you're gonna do. Now that we have negative 29, what you're gonna do is in your calculator. Most of you guys should be able to do this. You can either hit this button or you hit the up arrow and it goes back into the formula and you just change those -2's to -1's.
Whoa.
And then you don't have to retype the whole thing again.
Mine
What?
went wrong.
Yours went wrong, okay? You should be able to hit either the up arrow or the back arrow and it should like allow you to go back into the equation and retype it. Okay? Yours, you have to go up,
I can do it.
click there, click enter. Maybe, where's your enter button?
What does that mean?
Oh,
Maybe it is, oh. Why is it not doing it? I know what it's
What? That's not the anymore.
It's literally like that.
What is happening?
Whoa.
You want to compare answers, Jack?
I
I
have
don't
something.
know why it's not letting me go back in. Oh, there you go, there you go. So then you hit you go up and then you'll have to. Okay, yes, I know. If you hit the clear button, then you're just really, you have to retype it. Okay, but you should be able to hit that up arrow or the left arrow and change those to -1's. Then you don't have to type in as much, okay? It saves a little bit of time. What'd you get?
Hold on.
A bunch of ones and
-7, okay? Now, don't you dare be typing 0 in. If you plug 0 in, what should you get?
0.
If you plug 0 in, this cancels out, this cancels out, this cancels out. It's the last number, right? Right? Okay, so 1 should be the answer, right? Okay? Then go back through and plug a 1 in. So you should be able to go back through and like delete the negative out of there, right? You had -1 plugged in, so delete the negative, yeah? Okay? So you went up, and then I just started hitting this.
It's not the
I'm
calculation
not
issue. It's
close
just
my
that I keep on pressing
So-
I'm not,
-2.
I'm just left some years more.
Go back,
Yeah.
you start hitting this like
Hey yo. No.
one.
No, I know. One is easy.
If you're
One
on
is
top of the
literally
page,
one.
you just push 1 in there.
Bro, I can speak almost 3 languages.
Don't worry. I know how to use this calculator.
English, American English, British English.
That is not different.
Yes, it's different.
You are so
And now
dumb.
we want to go back through and we want to
Czech,
one.
Slovakia, something Russian, Spanish, and English.
The other one, and let's see what you get. What'd you guys get when you typed in +1?
But I can speak fluent in Slovakian.
3.
+1?
Speak.
You got 1 again? I think that is right.
No,
But not like.
If you plug in +1.
I
I
No,
remember
did it
we got
without
1.
calculator.
So 1 to the third power is 1.
So I can.
This would end up being -4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Yep.
Amateur,
Yep.
you gotta hold on. Oh, crap. I had like full ones.
Hey, that's right.
Yes, that's right.
Perfect.
Wait,
Hey,
so-
look at that. It's a really messy thing.
1 to the third powers.
Is 1 times 1 times 1, which is still 1.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. 2, if you plug 2 in, you get
-1.
-1. If you plug 3 in, you get
1.
1 again. If you plug 4 in, you get 13. Those are the numbers you should get, okay? If you didn't get a chance to plug all of those in, you'll have a lots of practice on your homework assignment. I promise. Yay! Now we have to graph this. Okay, so here we go. Negative 2 and negative 29. That is not even on my graph, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Boop, we're going to draw a line through that. Negative 1 is at negative 7, so he's right there. Okay. 0 is at 1. And then 1 is at 1. That's kind of odd. Okay. 2 is at negative 1. 3 is back at 1 again. And 4 is at 13, which is like all the way up here. Okay. Okay. Can you follow what that graph is trying to tell me? Because it's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like there's two that are right close to each other.
I know what it is.
You know what it looks like. We know that x to the third power should look like an S. So sometimes he's flat in the middle, but sometimes he does one of these, right? Okay? He should do something like that, right? So he's starting here, he's going up to here. Then he's going to here. Then he's going to here.
Wait, how'd you get the
Just like that.
1 right here? How'd you get that one?
This is how cryptocurrency.
Oh.
So it should be like this.
Yep, just like that. Okay? So this is what your function should look like, yeah? Something of that nature, right? Did you get it to work?
Buy anything.
Now the last thing we have to do is list the zeros. How many zeros does he have? How many places does he cross?
We didn't have school yet, so.
How many places does he cross? 3. Okay, do any of them cross really nice?
Yeah, 3. Maybe 1.
Yeah.
1.
Yes.
I'm going to say none of them because look at the table. None of those are 0. None of them come out to be 0. 0 is an x coordinate, not a y coordinate. So it would have to come out to be 0 as a y coordinate, yeah? Okay, so none of those are coming out nicely. Shh. So my first one is this one right here. It is between what? Between
1.
negative 1 and 0. Do you see where that's at? This first one is between negative 1 and 0. Do you see that? No?
Yes.
Okay, the next one is between what and what?
0 and negative 4.
Nope.
What?
He's crossing right here.
Oh, yeah.
Between what?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay? And between
2, 3.
2 and 3. He's crossing right there. Between 2 and 3. Okay, now, I can tell that by looking at the table. I can tell that by looking at the table. Here's why. Okay, looking at the table, I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, there is a 0 that lives between negative 7 and 1, yeah? 0 lives between that. So I'm going to have a 0 between negative 1 and 0. 0 also lives between 1 and negative 1. 0 lives there. So I'm going to have a 0 between 1 and 2. 0 also lives between these two numbers. So I'm going to have a 0 between 2 and 3. Do you see how that works from the table? Okay. So from the table, you can judge that rather than looking at the graph for that, right? Okay. You can see that and verify that with the table. Good? Okay. Let's talk about maximums and minimums. We already kind of have, but I had somebody say the highest point, okay? And then I think it was Remington. Remington said the highest point, and then he was like, no, not the highest point. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. A relative maximum. This guy right here is a relative maximum. It is not the highest point on the graph. So Remington was right. He was like highest point. Oh, wait, not highest point. It is the highest point relative to the stuff around it. So technically, that's not going to be the highest point on the graph because it's going to go up higher than that, yeah? Okay? And this is not the lowest point on the graph because it's going to go lower than that, right? But relative to the stuff around it, it is a low point and it is a high point. So it's like the hills and the valleys. That's what you're looking for minimums and maximums, yeah? Okay, so let's do these. Here we go. Plugging these in. Here's our function. This is another x to the third power. So we know he's going to look like this or he's going to look like an S, yeah? Something like that. All right, we're going to plug these numbers in. You start plugging in, and then I'm going to give them to you. Okay? So you start with negative 2, negative 1, and 0. 0 I know is going to be at 3. I'll give you the rest of them. Okay? You try plugging in negative 2, negative 1. I'll give you the rest. Maybe.
0 is 3.
0's at 3 because all of these are going to cross out. Except that 3 at the end, right? Okay? All right. 1 minus 4 minus 2 plus 3 is...
Mrs. Comacher, question.
Hold on. Okay.
Do I take it to squared or times that first?
You take it squared first.
Oh.
So negative 2 squared would be positive 4 times a negative 4. Yep, good question. Okay, 4.
No, this is not you. This is God.
Okay,
So
I'm doing it in my head. Calm down.
hey yo, stop.
No, I'm not.
there you go. Did you get the first two plugged in?
Yeah.
And we're gonna graph it.
It's a 12.
That is a negative 12, yes. Sorry, let me fix it. Negative 12, I'll fix it. There you
What's
go.
negative 8 minus 16?
Negative 8 minus 16. It should be a oh, that's negative 24.
Oh, negative 20. Minus 4.
Plus 4.
Plus 4. Oh, yeah.
Yep, so it'd be negative 9.
Negative, wait, what was this one again? 20, negative
Negative
24.
24 plus 4 would be negative 20. And then plus 3 would be negative 17. Did you guys get negative 17 for the first one? Yeah. Okay, what'd you get for the second one?
0.
0. Perfect. Great. Okay, there's your table. Fill them in and let's plot those points. Negative 17 is off my graph, okay? But I'm just gonna like pretend and remember that negative 2, negative 17 is like all the way down here, okay? Negative 1 is at 0. 0 is at 3. 1 negative 2. 2 negative 9. 3 negative 12. Just do the best you can. Then we're at 4 negative 5. And then all the way up at 18. Whatever. Holy cow, that's a lot of dots on my graph. You have to kind of remember the order that you put those dots in so you can connect them properly, right? We're going like this, and like this, and like this. And that's what he'll look like. He is a cubic function. That helps me remember because I know that this is an x to the third power. So I know he has to look like an s, so that can help me connect my dots, yeah? He should look something like that, okay?
Nice.
Now, we're not looking for zeros on this one. We're looking for maxes and mins, okay? Max at and min at.
Is 2 to the third
Infinity.
8?
Yes, okay? All right, maximum means a high point, okay? Now, not the highest point because he's going to go up forever, so we're not talking about that. How many maximums do we have?
2. No, wait.
How many high points do we have? Just one, this point right here, okay? That point is located at approximately 0, 3 is what I'm going to put. I'm going to put the x and the y coordinate, 0, 3, okay? All right, now it might not be exactly at 0, 3. It might be like right here instead, you know, and like loop up like that instead. But we're just going to estimate. That's what it says like at the beginning right here. Estimate the x coordinates, okay? All right. Next one, the minimum is this low point right here. It might not be exactly at that dot. It might be like closer to this side. I don't know. But it's going to be close to 3, negative 12. That's what Jack said. Happy with that? Is there only one minimum? Yes. Okay, so close to those, yeah? Highest point, lowest point. Got it? Okay, let's go to the back side. That was max and min. All right, here we go. Looking at this chart right here, one more piece of terminology that they're going to give me is increasing and decreasing, okay? Functions increasing and decreasing. We'll always look at from left to right. So I'm tracking the function from left to right. Okay, from the left side to the right side. Okay, from the left side of my graph, he's like starting down here, and from left to right, he's going increasing. He's going up. He's increasing from left to right until he gets to this point right here. Then he turns around and he is decreasing until he gets to there, right? Do you see how that works? Decreasing going downhill. Then he turns around and he is increasing again on the right side. Yeah? Okay, so here's another way of thinking about maximums and minimums. Maxes and mins are places where it turns around or where it switches from increasing to decreasing and vice versa, right? So a high point, a maximum point, is going to occur where you have increasing on the left and decreasing on the right. A minimum point is where he's decreasing on the left and increasing on the right. Does that make sense? Okay? So it's places where they switch from increasing to decreasing. Those are your maxes and mins, right? Okay? It's not talking about like what's happening at the end of the function, just the highs and low points. Got it? Okay, let's do this last problem. This is an actual like equation for movie theater tickets And the revenue is in billions of dollars. Okay, so they have the graph labeled for us. The revenue in billions of dollars. What's revenue, by the way?
Yep.
Money. It's like the amount of money that they got in, like collected in coming from tickets, right? Revenue. Okay. Now does revenue mean profit? Are those the same thing?
No.
No, profit is
Profit is how much you
Profit is how much you gain after
taxes and
after your costs are like taxes and costs and like the cost it takes to produce the movie or the cost that we have to buy the movie for, right? So revenue is not the same thing as profit, but it's what money is coming in, okay? Now down here, they have this axis is the number of years since 2005, okay? So here you go. What would year 2 be?
no shot.
Years since 2005 would be what? 2007, right? Okay, but rather than writing 2007, they just put 2 because it's easier, right? But years since 2005, okay? So our last year that we have going on here, what's this year?
That's 2014.
2014. So we don't know anything beyond 2014. We're going to talk about what happens after 2014, all right? Here we go. This stuff, graph the function. Oh man, I should have saved these from last period. So we don't have to plug them in, okay? First thing, year 0. If I were to plug year 0 in here, what would my revenue be? 8.95, just that last number, okay? All right, 8.95. Then next number is 8.5, and then I get lost from there. Somebody have a calculator that I can borrow?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, I'll plug these in for you. So you don't have to waste time doing it, okay? Maybe.
Oh, this one?
I want that one. I want Brian's. Because I'm familiar with this one better. Like I know where this stuff is. Okay. All right. Give me some of your patience here.
I don't have much patience.
I know. Mine is dwindling as well.
You can wear pretty dresses for the concert?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Fun, Jack.
Hayden,
Yeah.
are you wearing a dress? Hayden, you should
I
wear a
am.
dress. You should wear a
You
dress.
are? Yeah.
What color? You want a
Pretty
match?
pink.
You want a match?
What happened to your style
Ethan, what are you wearing to the concert?
What happened to your
A
style
braided
last
dress
year?
like
'Cause I
that.
remember last year you were like just
In the
Cowboy boots.
how far away is your grandma? I know.
Okay.
Like you were a housewife in the 1920s.
I'll just get a sweater and then put a mirror on it so that if you look at it, it's an ugly sweater.
You just want to be a housewife.
I have a favorite cat.
Best-
Don't wear US like shirt. You'll miss the
Exactly. They'll lose again.
Yeah.
Then you should be now.
Wait, are we out of the match?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're
First round, we lost to the Netherlands. 3-1.
I thought we had like multiple.
You're going to
multiple.
The concert, I have to
No.
Why?
because my younger sister's going.
It's just we're just out.
Yeah.
End of the game.
It's a knockout.
Yeah.
Knockout stage.
Yeah, and Germany lost to
Well,
Japan.
yeah,
No, it's
Reasonably worse.
You were in the group with Japan
What?
and Spain.
Huh?
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 Of course I have to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you US.
You lost by one goal. You lost by one goal.
I want to be at home.
One, 2 goals you would have won. 2 goals you would have been in.
Enjoy free time.
You lost. No, I'm standing up for the other country. America's not that good at soccer.
Huh?
You should go to the concert.
I hope you
I
can
think
play.
I bet.
I bet.
You can play.
Gordon, Spain lost to Morocco.
Toby's coming out.
What?
In penalty
I have
they
to,
lost
so-
to Morocco.
All right, fill your table in. I've got some of them in there already. I'm almost done.
Is there 9th hour today?
I think so. Yes.
Spain lost.
Why don't you ever go like to the 9th hours anymore?
Because my kids have stuff going on after school. Like Layla always has CCD and whatever else. I don't know.
Oh, how long? Wait,
Like 45 minutes.
All right, last one. Fill this table in, then we'll start to plot.
What's
I'm gonna
0?
listen to music the whole time. I don't like
0.
Toby, enjoy the music
No,
that they're
definitely.
performing.
There you go.
Definitely.
Plug those in.
If you think so. He's kind of watching something new.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna probably record it for my parents.
Wait, eyelashes or eyebrows?
I'm gonna listen to my music,
Oh, alright.
like in a headphone.
Bro,
You said
You're gonna do your
every
eyebrows?
eyelash goes black.
No.
There's no question.
Are you plotting these points?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Nothing.
what is number?
That was
Yes.
close.
I'm just showing number.
Just showing number.
Nothing.
Is that what he's doing?
Nothing.
Never mind.
Go. Play.
No hope.
Okay, there you go.
Better than no hope.
There's always hope in this
Okay,
society.
graph those on that table or on that graph,
Yes, there is.
and then we'll answer the questions.
Not when you don't when you.
I don't know what you're joking about. Abusing.
Abusing?
I hate abusing.
That's a lot.
With a shit.
That is a lot of points.
Nothing.
Okay.
I abuse you, Toby.
What?
If anything, Toby abuses me.
Because I don't give you skill, right?
Yes.
It was
Because he
so
being mean to me.
good.
Obviously, I'm gonna kick him if he's mean to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Did you get it all graphed?
Yep.
Let's answer the questions. Here we go. Number 1, describe the turning points of the graph and the end behavior. Let's talk about turning points. How many turning points does this thing have? 1. That's a low point. Where is the low point located?
5,
Yes.
8, 5.4.
At 8, which is at 5.4. Okay, what does 8 mean?
8 years later.
8 years after 2005, which is 2013, which is located at 5.4. That is my turning point. It goes low at that point and then it starts to turn around, okay? The end behavior is saying as x goes toward infinity, what is the y doing? As x goes toward negative infinity, what is the y doing? Okay. As x goes toward infinity, that is talking about years that are beyond 2014, right? On the right side, everything off the graph is years that are beyond 2014. What's going to happen beyond 2014, according to this graph?
It's gonna go up.
It's going to go up, right? Like it's going to continue to go up according to what like this graph looks like. It's going to continue, to increase. So infinity there, okay? On the left side, which is years prior to 2005, it's going,
Dropping.
it looks like it's going up also, right? If we continue it in the same direction as what it's doing now, it's going up there, right? So beyond 2015, it's up in the high ones. Beyond 2014, it's up in the high ones. That's the end behavior, okay? What trends in revenue does the graph suggest?
Higher than 25.
What?
No, 24. Those years were good years.
Oh, beyond 2014, it's increasing, and prior to 2005, it's increasing. What trend does what trend in revenue does the graph suggest? What's it trending? What's it doing?
Increase.
It's increasing after 2014. That's what this graph is suggesting, is that it's increasing. It's going to continue to increase after 2014. That's what we're trending toward, okay? D says, is it reasonable that this trend will continue indefinitely? Will it
No.
continue to increase forever upward?
No.
How's come?
Money.
Okay, this was 2014. I don't know when Netflix really got like big and when Disney Plus really got like big,
That was like
but people quit going to the movie theaters. I don't know if it was a direct result of Disney Plus and Netflix, but I'm going to guess that probably had something to do with it, right? People want to watch movies from their living room, not actually go to the movie theater. So if I can buy a brand new movie like that just came out on like Amazon Prime or Netflix or something like that, if I can buy that movie there, I'm going to sit and watch it at home, right? So it's probably going to decrease. So is it reasonable that the trend will continue? No.
Oh, what's the letter?
Probably
You can Google that.
will, I'm going to say level out. Level out. Or even decrease. Because people are not going to the movie theaters at the same rate that they used to. Like you've seen old movies where they'll like go to drive-in movie theaters and they're like packed. How many times have you gone to the movie theater and it been like completely packed? Probably just for the big ones, right? Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay. Let me tell you which ones to do for homework. Ready?
No.
No.
Here's what to do for homework. On practice, just do the evens. If you need to use some of the room on the left side, you can. Okay, evens on practice. Evens on practice. But here you go. There is an A, B, and C, so make sure you're following A, B, C. A says graph the function by making a table of values. B says find the zeros. And C says find the maxes and mins. You have to do that for all of them, right? If you want to write down number 2, I've plugged those numbers in for you. So there you go. All you have to do is graph them and find these things. 0, max, and min. Okay, so there you go. That's done for you.
So we have to do just those 3?
On practice, yes. And there's only 3 on the other side also. Yep, just 2, 4, 6. Okay. Number 4, if you don't know which numbers to plug in, those are the numbers you should plug in. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay. Those are numbers I would pick anyway. That's 2 and 4. Okay.
Oh, where is it?
Number 4?
Aha.
Number 4 is just -3 all the way to 2. You just go down from there.
That was so
Okay?
slow.
Wait, which one?
Was that guy? That's the
It was so slow that I can hear it like normally.
Okay. On the back side, do just the odds. Same instructions though, just do the odds. There you go. Odds on skills practice. Okay, so 3 problems and 3 problems, and that's it. Because these do take a while.
This side is 1, 3, 5.
This side is 1 through 5. Yep. Odds on skills practice 1 through 5. Yeah. Good. Good.
Who was the first guy?
All right.